Hello, you. Welcome to another day. It is actually almost the end of the day. Computer time. It's 11:48 p.m. Let's see if I finish this and start this posting before the end of the day. Okay, so first to get us started, let's talk about a little bit of history. Um, so on this day in 1939, a man by the name of Ed Roberts, who is considered the the um, the founder of the independent living movement for persons with disabilities, um, was born in San Mateo, California. I believe is where it says San Mateo, California. So I don't know a lot about this person. I actually just read about this on Britannica briefly before I got on this, but now I want to learn a little bit more about who Ed Roberts is. But apparently, he is considered the founder of the independent living movement for persons with disabilities. In 1964, the 24th Amendment is um, brought into effect, uh, as which prevents federal and state governments from imposing a poll tax before people can actively vote. Which it just goes to show that the government will try to charge you for anything if they can. This is why the government's out of control, because even to vote, they want to charge you money. Um, it's like they honestly, the taxes we pay are basically called living taxes, because if you don't pay them, you don't get to be a part of the society in the way that they want you to be, or to have any semblance of, um, sort of what we consider a standard of living, where you have a home and all these things like that, a car, anything like that. They want you to not. They want you to pay a living tax. So your life requires you to pay a tax. It's not simply to support the government. It's so that the government maintains more control over your life. The guy who actually created income tax years ago, which was supposed to have been created to help support the war back in the time, because they were financially struggling. They didn't have enough financial resources. The federal government didn't have enough financial resources. That's why they imposed an income tax. Came back and said later that he regretted, I can't remember what his name was, but he regretted ever making that recommendation because of what it started to lead to. Because once they start charging a tax for this, then they come up with an idea for charging a tax for that. This is why federal government's dangerous, and man should not have that kind of much power over other man, because when you have that power, they inevitably abuse it. It's human nature to think, well, I got this from them. What else can I get from them? But I digress for now on that one. In 1977, the TV series Roots, which was based off the Alex Haley novel Roots, debuted on television in this day in 1977. If you are not aware, there's a number of actors who are really well known for starring in Roots, of which, of course, none of them are going to hit me in the brain right now, except for one who I will never forget, and that is LeVar Burton, who played Kunta Kinte. Um, he was in that, and he's fantastic. He's a fantastic actor in general. But that was really that was the this day in history. What is that now? 45 years ago now? No, 46 years ago. Roots debuted, 1977. The next big note of history that occurred in 1997 on this day was the first woman being sworn in as Secretary of State, and that was Madeleine Albright under President Clinton, first woman to hold that position in that office. It'd be interesting to learn a little bit more about who Madeleine Albright was, but this was her big day. A big day for women in history, being the first woman to be sworn in as Secretary of State under President Clinton. A number of women have been Secretary of State since. Um, And that's great, but she'll always be known as the first one. Okay, so before we move on, there are the puppies. There are the puppies. There's the puppy. There's the bear. There's the bear. There's the bear. You want to say hi to the folks? Hello, folks. My name is Amadeus. There's Simba over there. All right, so, hi, bear. Hi, there. There's Simba over there scratching. All right. Computer, stop. Computer, stop. Okay, so what happened today? Simba, you all right over there, buddy? Okay, you want to come over here and say hi? Come sit. Come sit, Simba. Hello, I'm Simba. Hi, Simba. Hi, baby bear. Hi, baby lion. Why do you hang your head, Tom Dooley? You're so handsome. You're so handsome. You're so handsome. Can you kiss? Oh, you're a good paw. There, give me a paw. There's a good paw. Good job. Good job. Good job. They're going to get some food in a little bit here. Okay, so they're so beautiful. I love them so much. Oh, Bear's giving me kisses. There's bear kisses. Best kisses ever. Bear kisses. Love you, buddy. So, let's see. Today, what was accomplished? I finally finished packing all the items that were in those boxes that could have been packed into a bin. I packed them into a bin finally. Basically, just shy of 12 bins, 11 and 2/3 bins, but they're all packed. I've marked the bins. Now there's a little more room in this one bin. Marie could put some things in, but all those boxes are gone. Well, there's a couple of them floating around that need to be collapsed and thrown away, but they effectively have all been transferred from boxes to bins, with the exception of our printers, which means, woohoo, that's one thing, one big thing done. Huge, huge thing. Really huge. Very bigly. Done. So, I'm very happy about that. Today, a friend named Joe, who that's as far as I'll go for now, who's an artist. He, what is the word when you commission? I think it's commission an artist to do a rendering of a logo. He did a rendering of the logo for my logo for my company, Achieve Studios. He did a rendering of that, and he delivered that painting today. Have a picture of him with that painting, and it's an artist's conception, so it's not supposed to be true to life. It's supposed to be an artist's conception, and the way he sees it, and put his own flair to it. And so he delivered that today, which is pretty fun, pretty nice that he did that. Very kind of him, and I always like it when I get a chance to work with an artist because it's a little piece of themselves. It's a little bit of it's part of how they live on. Artists live on is through their work, through their artistry. And so that's really beautiful. And I'm so proud to have that and have that in my collection, and thank him so much for doing that. Let's see. It's a pretty basic stuff today. Yeah. Finishing those bins was a big thing. Getting that painting today, having that painting delivered by Mr. Joe today was the two significant things today. And I don't know why. I guess maybe I should note this, that my mom and my brother called me earlier today because they've been having trouble getting a hold of the pharmacy at HEB because I guess they're not answering their phone. And they both tried with their phones, and they said, would you try calling with your phone and seeing if you can get through to them? And so I did a three-way with the two of them and calling to HEB through my phone, and they answered. So are they able to see caller ID and pick who they want to answer the phone for? Yay or nay? I don't know. But they did answer the phone when I called and not when they called, apparently. I don't know how many times they called, but apparently, I think they called more than a few times, they said. At least a few times, and they didn't answer. So if companies are coming to a point where they don't want to provide attention to certain customers for whatever reason, that's not good. It's part of your job and your responsibility. So that's disappointing if that's the case. Um, so we'll see. Test the theory again next month. If they continue to have problems, then it might be time to bring more attention to the issue, to see if potentially they're discriminating because, of whatever reason. You can't let your personal feelings get into the way of something like that, when it comes to providing a pharmaceutical service. Um, you know, eh, that's not a corporate would surely not approve of that, but corporations are very scared of challenging their employees anymore, because for every job that's out, there's every two jobs that are supposedly out there. There are people who don't want to do it because they're making more money living off of the government, which is why the government shouldn't have that much money to allow for people to take advantage of that option and thereby not be productive members of society. But once again, this is where we are. Okay, I think that's it for today. I hope you have a beautiful, wonderful rest of the day, which is probably pretty much over. Computer time. It's 11:59 p.m. Ah, there we go. All right, God bless. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you tomorrow. Good night.